Hello Guardians, it is Ebontis here, and in this video what I want to cover for you guys is a guide to the Master difficulty version of Aphelion's Rest. Depending on when you see this one, you may have a different reward. Today we're showing legs here, and you've got Champions, Overload, and Unstoppable, pretty manageable on both. The Overload are annoying, but they're not difficult per se, even on Master difficulty. Unstoppable, we pretty much get to shut down those easily. Burn of Stasis and Shields are Void. So your only shield you need to manage is Void in one of two ways. You could use a fusion rifle if you want that to kind of be your damage. You could use a bow, kind of two birds with one stone here, make that one your damage. Now, you've got some options here when it comes to Unstoppable. I had Null Composure up here just because it's a Void fusion rifle. The only thing with the Void, depending on how aggressive you want to be, a couple of the Hobgoblins are going to be Void. They're going to be a little farther away. So you're either going to have to push up or kind of clear other things to clear out the shields on these guys because it's a little hard to do it from range. You want to do something like, Imperial Needle as a bow and be able to take these guys out in a more consistent fashion, you can. But the one thing I will tell you is there's also Scions in here, and they do tend to split. So having some way to kill them in a clump is beneficial. Otherwise, you'll be kind of whittling away at them the whole time. Now, you've got some options when it comes to what you're going to fire at your Unstoppable champions, because your bow is Overload. If you got it here, you got it covered. Unstoppable. Now, the burn of Stasis, and I know not all of you are going to have this specific weapon, for example. If you do, again, Vorpal does help on champions, so if you've got it, cool. If not, no big deal. Make sure you have major spec on whatever you're going to fire at those champions. It will give you the benefit of bonus damage on those champions. Even this would have probably helped me a little bit. Major spec on whatever. And make sure you got your Overload bow. Unstoppable fusion's not too bad. As the burn is Stasis, we don't have a lot of things like this. You can do this in a couple of different ways. You can use Agar Scepter. This is actually a really fun way to do this Lost Sector if you've got this one. If you have Reed's Regret as well, this is also a fun way to do this one. This is good for ad clearing and clumps. This is going to be decent for just shutting down some targets. But overall damage is kind of okay. If you prefer to do something like this, for example, you could go Lawrence Driver and a bow. That way you've got two linear fusion rifles. You've got your kind of burst gravity well sucking damage here. And this is in Season of the Lost. If you are not in Season of the Lost, fusion rifles and linears, probably not going to be quite as popular. If you want to do something, honestly, that's probably even more fun for the linear fusion joys, you could have your bow here in the middle, and you can go Arbalist at the top and just smash anything once you break their shields. And this thing's also good at breaking shields. So you kind of get two purposes out of this weapon. You still get the bonus of the linear fusion, only though this is going to be the only type one that can do the Unstoppable. Unfortunately, Arbalist, as it's going to intrinsically get barrier later on, it will not work for Unstoppable champions for whatever reason. It's just, when they have a plan for one, it's going to be that way. So you've got a couple different options on how to do this. Have a bow. Have Void covered, and again, the Null Composure is nice because anything that gets at relatively close range, I can shut down the Unstoppable champions that kind of run at you, and also Reservoir Burst, I can explode things. So I'm going to show you guys the way I ran it the first time, just as kind of a more practical option, but wanted you guys to see some of the exotics you could use. I am running Stasis just because it's got the burn, so at least I can use the grenade. I'm not going to use the super, but I highly suggest you guys do as well. So if you guys find this guide beneficial, please again drop like below and share it with other people. But for now, let's jump in. We'll see how this goes. All right, so when you start, and remember, I'm using Reed's Regret because there are very few things that have a Stasis burn, so I may as well get a little bit of benefit out of it, but any linear fusion will do there for a good chunk of damage. Paired with Particle Deconstruction, it's just the way to go this season. Now, that's one of the reasons I use Null Composure. The group explosion on a few of these groups of ads is honestly just nice to always have with you. And when you kill some, even if you don't get them all, Feeding Frenzy makes your reload so quick, it's like a no-brainer. After that first group of thralls, you are going to have a couple of these thralls come trickling towards you. They're just going to keep running. So if you need some ammo, knock them out. They're pretty easy. I am terrible with that melee, but that's a whole different problem. Now, if you get him to start charging you, just keep pulling him. Be ready with your Unstoppable Burst. And then once you get to a point where you feel like you've got him stuck in one place, pull out your linear. Might even take two. And again, all you got to do, if you can't quite kill him, pull back. Get ready again. Stun him again. Really not too bad on the Unstoppable champions. I think there's 2 or 3 in here. They're all very, very manageable. So again, same thing here. I know I've got those groups of ads somewhat connected. I can keep that chain explosion going, make my life simple, and enjoy exploding heads. Fun. Got some ammo to drop. Now, this is going to be our first void shield over there. We're going to have a few of these to manage. Not too bad, but we will have a couple. That's a nice little ammo drop. Hello, Mr. Thrall. How you doing? Now, up top, we are going to have two, count them wonderfully, two overload champions. We're going to work on those in a second. What I want you guys to try and do is kill the groups of scions. Now, the reason I said Stasis class is going to be a good thing, twofold. One, you've got this grenade, which is going to help you with the group kill, because it's going to kind of pull them all in. You're going to get the shatter explosion, and that way they can't multiply and regenerate on you, making your life a little more difficult. It also looks like some of my attrition little cores have been ruined a little bit and launched up into oblivion. Now, there's the second unstoppable. Same principle. Pull him to where you have a safe place to fight. And then once you've got him stunned, even a normal fusion can kill this guy pretty quick. It's not hard to kill the unstoppables. Just know where they're going to be and you won't get caught off guard. Now, overload champions here can be a little frustrating. You can go one of two ways. You can plink them with a bow every time. Not too bad. But if they start walking on you like that, it gets to be a little frustrating because now you got to go chase their line of sight. Which you can do over here if you know where you're going with these things. But if they get their health back, it gets to be a problem, and that guy just got his health back. So if you want to be a bit more aggressive, you can stun him, get a couple linear shots, keep the aggression on with the bow, and keep firing. Now, there's a weird thing about overloads. If you keep, like, they want to be able to shoot you, but they also want to make sure they stay alive, so it's a bit of a tricky thing. You also notice any of these overloads, which are going to come up here in a little bit, they have their gun in their right hand. So if your cover is close to, like, you know, your cover is on your left side, your cover is actually going to give you a little benefit from their weapon. I'll show you that more up on the next section, but it can be one of those things that really works in your benefit. But these guys are not too bad, but if you ever feel like you want to finish them, just make sure your heavies are reloaded if you're going to pull it out. Get the little reload in here, and then just delete them. Or if you don't quite get the deletion shot off, you can have a horrible run. And that's why these guys are so frustrating. Sometimes you just want to delete him completely, and it doesn't quite happen, and then he's going to start getting his health back, which is frustrating. So that's why sometimes just the bow, but their line of sight here is so weird. The bow is the most reliable thing to dink these guys down with, because if you start running out of, like, line of sight, you try and switch, you have to reload, you don't keep the damage on. It's a whole chain of things. And then at this point, probably only have a couple, but again, that grenade is going to make life simple. You're going to have another collection up front, so using the grenade there for me is not optimal because I wanted to use it up around the corner. But as I've got null composure with the reservoir burst, I'm not as worried because I know I can explode these guys on more of a consistent basis. Plenty of ammo up here is good. Now we're going to come up. You don't have the boss actually spawned yet. You're at a point where you got more of these little scions. So again, having that explosion, starting to eliminate them in clumps will save you a little bit of a headache. Because when these guys start splitting, they get to be rough. Can you get off me? Wow. A little vacuum stasis pull is frustrating. The thralls will be coming at you. Give those a little bit of time. And you got more champions in the back. Now, depending on how you want to do this, if you've got a grenade, if you want to clump them all together, however you want to do this, you can. But I'm going to pull up here just a little bit to show you guys kind of what I'm talking about here. This is where the fusion rifle has the lack of benefit because I don't have the bow for the void stuff at range. So now if I want to go for any of the void shields that I know are up here, I can't go after them as easily, and I'm also really in kind of a tough spot as I'm this close to all these overload champions. Not really what I would call optimal right here. Now, if you can find those 3 acolytes that have the void shields, and now your health is in a bit of a pickle spot because attrition is also fun. Now, if you're just down to the 2 overloads, you're good, but I want to kill the 3 acolytes first. Now, in theory, if you can run up there and actually get aggressive, you could have a little bit of fun. I'm going to go see if I have a little bit more ammo down here. I don't think I do, unfortunately. But your goal at this point, if you can kill both in one quick succession, cool. If you kill one, the boss will spawn. So however you go after this, if it's one or if it's both, you can just go for one and delete them and delete the other guy later. Granted, if you waste a bunch of your heavy ammo, that's going to be a bit of a problem. The amount of shots coming after that, they get really, really pissed off when they get hit like that. So I got to wait a second for my health to come up. I'm going to get killed if I just try and peek my head up. I'm going to try and grab this little bit of ammo. Thank you. Now the other option would be chunk a grenade, see if I can get them frozen and maybe go for a quicker kill. But in theory, The goal here is just to go for this type of kill. Try and only keep one of them in line of sight. If one stays over there and he's trying to get shots at you, move to where the other one has to come at you. But just be careful. And again, if you want to stun one, keep focus on the other one. Just watch them moving. And that's why if you can go for that aggressive shot every so often, only try and take like one until you feel like you really can go for the kill shot so you don't miss anything. Now you do want to pull back. Champion has been defeated. Champion appears. What we've got now is going to be an unstoppable champion. I'm going to try and kill our wonderful friend, the Overload Fun. There we go. That's a quicker Overload kill. Apparently I got a season rank up. Going to have another group of Scions. Going to have another unstoppable champion as well. That's kind of why I want you guys to be ready for him. Now this one I'm going to go linear just because it's where I've got the most ammo right now. So I'm just going to go for the direct, just absolute brutal kill there. Nice and fast. Hoping to get me a little bit of ammo from these thralls just for the explosions because we have another group of Scions which are going to be doing their little splitting fun. Again, if you need ammo, you can use these Scions to get you some if you feel like you want a little bit of heavy ammo. Just know that, you know, the longer they sit there, the more there's going to be. So whether it's a grenade later on, you're going to need some way to reliably finish them up. Boss is right there, so he's going to be fun. I've got my champions down at this point, so I can actually just go for the fast kill here. Make my life very simple. Just watch the Stasis he's shooting out. There we go. Should be a wrap on that one. You're going to have quite a few ads popping out in the back, so just be careful. Feel like you're in a bad health spot. Don't get too aggressive. And then now if you can just explode some things, make life simple. Looks like you've got a few more acolytes that are going to be coming up in the back. Doing that to get back to cover a little bit. I don't know why that got me my health back, actually. That is weird. Nice little Scion kills. Make sure they're dead. And then now you've just got the acolytes here. The sniper acolytes that are just going to be quick kills. And again, this is why the fusion is not what I would call the optimal run. There are the other things I showed you probably would be a bit faster and more fun. But that should pretty much take care of just about everything. We're going to check our loot to see if we get anything good. But that is Aphelion's Rest on Master. And we got a Peregrine Greaves. Who knows, those things might actually be good. I actually got a solo Flawless there as well. So, nice recording. Let's get back to the planet's surface and wrap this one up. Yeah, this one really is not too bad, even on Master difficulty. Granted, I'm playing at about 1350 just due to the artifact and the gear that I've got, but I mean, I've been playing a decent amount this season. If you're this far into this length of a season, definitely shouldn't be too bad, but even under level, just going to take a little more patience, probably more patience with the bow for the overloads. Overall, not too bad. But the burn is Stasis. You don't have to use like Reed's Regret. But if you haven't been spending any time, even just solo queuing into trials to try and get one of these things, mine's a pretty decent roll. I've got a couple good ones, but if you at least get one of these, there's not a lot of Stasis weapons in the game. Try and spend some trials every so often on a weekend, even by yourself, just to get some Engrams from the reputation alone. Work on getting yourself one of those. Shields are void. It's the only thing you really got to manage. Other than that, hopefully this guide covered it for you. If you did enjoy this video, please drop a like below. If you have any questions, comments, loadouts, or builds that you like using, put those in the comments. If you guys want to find me on Twitter, it is Ebontis. On Twitch streaming, it is twitch.tv/Ebontis. But right here on YouTube, the support has been awesome lately, but there's a lot of you guys who have not subscribed. So if you want to subscribe, hit that subscribe button, hit the alert bell. Helps my videos make it to you. Also, you'll know when I'm streaming live on YouTube. And if you guys want to support me directly, you can join the channel as a member after you subscribe, or you can find the Patreon link down below in the description. Thank you all very much. I'll see you soon.